Hello students, in this lecture we are going to study the types of modified epithelium. The first type of modified epithelium is glandular epithelium, second is sensory epithelium. Now first we will study about the glandular epithelium. Now in this type the cells are modified for the secretions. The different secretions like the sweat, oil, milk, as well as the hormones and enzymes. Now the cells, their shape is changed. They may be columnar or cuboidal, or they may be pyramidal in shape. Now first of all, depending upon the mode of secretion, there are two types of glands, that is the exocrine glands and endocrine glands. We are going to study the exocrine and endocrine glands. Before that, the single cell glands, they are called as the goblet cells, and these goblet cells, they secrete the mucus. We will study about the goblet cells first. They are called as the unicellular glands. So first the goblet cells, we will study about the location, structure and function. Goblet cells, they are also called as unicellular glands. Unicellular glands. The single cell, it secretes the secretion, that is the mucus. So this gland, it is the unicellular gland. Now where it is present, the unicellular glands, they are mainly present in the intestine, inner lining of intestine and and also it is present in the trachea. Now we have studied about the trachea. What is trachea? It is the windpipe. It is the part of respiratory system. So inner lining of trachea, it also shows the ciliated epithelium. In the last lecture we have completed about the ciliated epithelium, which mainly prevents the entry of dust particles. So this trachea and intestine, both these parts, they show the unicellular glands. Now these glands, we will study the structure. In the structure, they are modified cells. They mainly shows the columnar type of cells, and inside they show goblet shape. So single cell, each cell, it is called as the gland. So this is the columnar epithelium, columnar cell, and inside it shows the goblet shape, which mainly secretes the mucus. It is called as the glycoprotein substance. It is called as the mucus. So this mucus, it is present inside this shape, that is called as the goblet shape, and that's why the cells are distended. Goblet cell or goblet shape. Why they are called as the goblet cells? Because inside they show such a cup shaped structure, which is called as the goblet shaped, and these cells, they mainly consist of the mucus, which is discharged out, and this mucus, it acts as a lubricating substance. So this is the goblet cell or unicellular gland. Now what is the function of this gland? Mainly, first in the intestine, it acts as it secretes the mucus, which acts as a lubricating substance. So it prevents the intestine or inner lining of intestine from the mechanical injuries. The first function is acts as a lubricating substance. Mucus acts as a lubricating substance, and it prevents the intestine from mechanical injuries. Prevents intestine from mechanical injuries. And what is the second function? In trachea, it traps the dust particles. In trachea, it traps the dust particle, or mucus traps the dust particles. So these are the two important functions of the goblet cells, which are also called as the unicellular glands. See again the inner lining of intestine and trachea. This is the location, structure. They are mainly columnar cells, and inside they shows the accumulation of mucus, and that's why the cells are distended and the mucus is discharged on the surface of the cells. And this mucus, it is nothing but the glycoprotein substance. It acts as a lubricating substance and prevents the intestine from mechanical injuries. And in trachea, the mucus traps the dust particles. So it is a unicellular gland, that is the goblet cell. The question may be asked for the short notes. Write a short note on unicellular glands or goblet cell, the location, structure and function of goblet cell. So it is about the unicellular gland. Now we will study about the multicellular glands. Now we will study about the exocrine gland and endocrine glands. Depending on the mode of secretions, they are of two types. Multicellular glands are of two types. That is the exocrine glands and endocrine glands. So we will study in the form of difference. Now what is meaning of word exo? Means outside, endo inside. The glands which bears the ducts to carry their secretions. Now these are multicellular glands which mainly secretes the different secretions like enzymes, hormones, sweat, oil, milk. So there are various types of glands, and depending upon the presence of ducts, presence or absence of ducts to carry their secretion, they are of two types, that is exocrine glands and second, that is the endocrine glands. The exocrine glands means the glands which bears ducts to carry their secretions. They are called as exocrine glands. Glands which have ducts to carry their secretions. त्यांचं स्त्राव वाहून नेण्यासाठी ज्या छोट्या डक्ट्स किंवा नलिका असतात, अशा ग्लँड्सना काय म्हटलं जातं? एक्झोक्राइन ग्लँड्स. The glands which have ducts to carry their secretions are called as exocrine glands. And another type, it is the endocrine, means these are the glands which are without ducts. They are also called as ductless glands. The glands which do not possess the ducts to carry their secretions. So these glands mainly pour their secretions directly into the blood. They pour their secretions directly into the blood. Such a glands are called as endocrine glands. And in short, they are also called as ductless glands. Ductless glands. They do not have ducts to carry their secretions. So their secretions, mainly the hormones, they are directly poured into the blood, and from blood it is carried towards the target organs. So such a glands are called as endocrine glands. Now another difference is that the second difference we will study between the exocrine and endocrine glands. The exocrine glands secretes different secretions, like they secrete mainly sweat, oil, enzymes, juices. Also they secrete the milk, saliva, etc. Different secretions are there, but in case of endocrine glands, they secrete only the hormones. The endocrine glands secrete hormones. So it is another important difference between the exocrine and endocrine glands. Now next is the exocrine glands, their secretions are in large quantity. They secrete the secretion in large quantity. Third difference, their secretion is in large quantity. And in case of the endocrine glands, they secrete hormones in very small quantity. They secrete hormones in small quantity. So secretions are in small quantity, very less secretion, so it is called as small quantity. Then last difference is about the examples. Examples of the endocrine glands and exocrine glands. You know the exocrine glands, that is the salivary glands, sweat glands, sebaceous glands, mammary glands, gastric glands, intestinal glands, all are the exocrine glands. So I will write here mainly the examples: intestinal glands, gastric glands, then salivary glands, and milk glands, that is the mammary glands, are the examples of exocrine glands. So such glands are called as the exocrine glands. Glands like intestinal, gastric, salivary, mammary, sweat glands are the examples of this exocrine gland. What are the different examples of endocrine glands? The endocrine glands are mainly pituitary, then thyroid gland, which is present in our neck region, pituitary gland, it is present in our brain, and the adrenal gland, which is also called as the suprarenal gland, which is present on the anterior surface of the kidneys, then thymus, pineal gland, all are the endocrine glands. So these are the glands which secrete the hormones, and they are directly poured into the blood, and from blood they are mainly transported by blood towards the target organs. So such glands which do not possess ducts to carry their secretions, they are also called as the ductless glands. They are called as endocrine glands. And the exocrine glands, the glands which have ducts to carry their secretions like the sweat, oil, enzymes, juices and milk, etc. So such a type of difference is asked in the question, that is give difference between exocrine glands and endocrine glands for 2 marks. So you have to write at least 4 differences which are given here. So it is about the multicellular glands. Next we are going to study about the sensory epithelium, which is again the modified epithelium. Students, now we will study about the next type of modified epithelium, that is the sensory epithelium. It is the modified epithelium for the receiving stimuli and converting to impulse. So they are mostly present in the receptors, mainly nose, ear and eye. In the nose, they are called as the olfactory epithelium. It is for the receiving stimuli of the smell. So it is the olfactory epithelium. In case of ear, it is called as the auditory epithelium. Auditory hair cells to receive the stimuli of the sound. And next in ear, they are called as the photoreceptor cells. So it is modified to receive the stimuli and convert into impulse. So these cells, the structure we can study. These are modified epithelium cells. These are the receptor cells which have axons at one end, and at free end they show the sensory hair cells. So these axons of these receptor cells together combine and they forms the nerve. It is called as the, in case of olfactory epithelium, it is called as the olfactory nerve. So this is the olfactory epithelium in nose. So this nerve, it is called as the olfactory nerve. So these are the receptor cells which are modified epithelial cells, receptor cells, and another cells, they are the supporting cells, supporting, that is the columnar cells, which are also present for the support. So modified epithelial cells mainly for the receiving stimuli and converting to impulse. So it is present in nose, in ear, and in eye. In nose they are called as the olfactory epithelium. In case of ear they are called as auditory epithelium, and in eye they are also called as the photoreceptor cells. So what is the function of these cells? To receive stimuli and convert into impulse. To receive stimuli and convert into impulse. So it is modified epithelium, second type of modified epithelium. First we have studied the glandular epithelium. Second we have studied about the sensory epithelium. In the next lecture we are going to study the germinal epithelium, which is modified epithelium for the formation of gametes. Okay.